Right, hi everybody. We've just turned on the broadcast. We're just a little bit early just to make sure we're going to broadcast okay. We've got about a 20-second delay between the actual picking up of my voice here and the broadcast. I'm here in the room just before 7:30 with my roadie, Ray Palanca, and here he is right here, just coming on there. We got a little bit of a echo. Here's my roadie. Hello. There he is. So here we are. We're getting ready for the concert just right now. Um, just checking. How does it sound at your end there? A bit of a sound check going on. We've got 23 people watching now, which is fantastic. I've got Heart of England Cooperative Orchestra. I'll just put something in the chat and say hello, just to make sure we've all got something going on there. There's Kit who says good evening. So yeah, it looks like we are broadcasting now in 7:30. Welcome to our online concert this evening. The orchestra is coming to you in spirit from all of our living rooms across the West Midlands and Warwickshire area. I'm broadcasting from the IT Tech Bar in the library of Coventry University, where the IT department has been kind enough to allow me to use their internet connection to get the best upload speeds around. Today's concert marks exactly 1 year since the beginning of the first UK COVID-19 lockdown. We've been in our most recent lockdown in the UK since January, with hope on the horizon for an end as soon as possible, hopefully by midsummer. In line with government guidelines and the fantastic rollout of the vaccine to well over 50% of adults so far, we hope to be back in rehearsals soon and bring at least part of our next concert to you live, or at least live recorded. In the meantime, we're working hard to keep our performing tradition alive during the pandemic, and we're keen to come perform to you in this time to raise spirits and raise money for our chosen charity, Chord. This evening, you'll get to see a good variety of concerts from our recent past, as well as a few of our individual time in our homes and still performing good music together using technology. I hope you're comfortable and ready for some good music this evening. I've got my cup of tea right here, and I've got a little bottle of water, and we've got our little snacks right here, so I hope you're all ready to go. Just to give you a little guidance, under the stream on YouTube, you'll see several links. Right at the bottom is a link for the program for this evening. Feel free to download it and follow along. It's great to welcome audience from our regular attenders, as well as new audience from friends and family from around the world. I've got another kind of monitor over here. Let's just take a look at the comments before we get our first piece. We've got 34 people online now, which is fantastic. Gerald Lawrence says hello. Our roadie Ray has said hello. Dave Weir, grand sound here. I'm glad to hear that, actually, because it's something a bit hard to tell from this end. Jane, good to see you all dressed up. Well, of course, we've been a year without getting dressed up, and here we are dressed up. So it's really fantastic. I'll queue up our first piece right now, and we'll have a look at more comments kind of as we go along. One of the orchestra's standard favorites is this piece by one of our very own violinists, Mark Charlton. Mark says, it started life as an exercise to see if he could write a piece for orchestra, specifically aimed at the instruments that our orchestra had at the time. Certainly the most nerve-wracking part was seeing what we all thought of that. After that, it was all out of his hands. I'd also like to say big thanks to Toby Stevenson, a student at Coventry University, for helping us do the technical bit of putting all the individual recordings together in what we are able to hear tonight. This is our orchestra's lockdown performance from February 2021. It was really good to be able to put that together in our living rooms and rehearsal rooms and back rooms of our homes, just as we were going along. So that was really nice. Hope you enjoyed that Heart of England march. That was our next piece. Mexican Madness. Before I've been looking at the comments over here. We've got a viewer from Limerick Island, so that's really nice to see you, Joe Maloney. Welcome. Also, welcome to Derek Lawrence from Jersey, who's been an audience member of ours for some time. So it's really great to see you, and one of a composer of a few pieces that we've performed as well. Benoit. Now we've got a composer here, Benoit Grenier, from Coventry. We'll hear one of his pieces in just a little bit of time. So that's really great. It's just nice to see everybody. Yeah, I see. Yeah, there you go. You got a shout out there, Ben. That's nice to hear. Our next piece is entitled Mexican Madness. This is a piece with a bit of fun from our March 2019 concert. In this performance, we don't have a video, but thematic pictures were put together by the talents of Morag Clark, one of our clarinetists in the orchestra. So thanks, Morag. Here we are, Mexican Madness. Well, thank you very much, Morag. That was really nice, and quite enjoyed the pictures there. Hope you all enjoyed the music as well. I'm just really enjoying watching the comments here as well. It's so nice to see. We've got Jane, oboe player. So Jane, welcome tonight. Mandy from the orchestra. Very nice to hear you here. We've got Several other orchestra members. Jess Charlton, nice to see you. Welcome. Elizabeth. Everyone. It brings a smile to my face to see everyone as well. So it's really nice. Gerald, I see your comment about stage 10 icon obscuring a couple of our players. Yeah, in order to, I'm using this piece of software called Stage 10 to actually be able to broadcast via YouTube. And in order to get that off the screen, we need to pay. And we probably could stump up the money to be able to pay. It's very nice that they're letting us use this for free. But if we do, it's less money to our charity. And as you know, we work really hard to raise money for our charity. And our charity tonight is Chord. We'll be hearing from them a little bit later to hear more about that charity. Just a little bit more about us, where we are in the room. This is a photo of my roadie and I, and you can see the screens that I've got here. So that's really good. So here we are back in the room. So that's where I've got kind of a screen over here with the comments. I got a screen up there with you all. I got a screen down here showing me what I'm doing. So it's all action packed here. So it's no problem, Gerald. That's fine. There's always an explanation here. So we might see if we can stump up the money for our next concert, because it seems to be a regular thing. And even when lockdown finishes, we might like to keep going like this, because this is really, really nice to be able to bring our music to a wider audience, which is fantastic. Our next piece of music, The Sound of Music. This piece is from our March 2018 concert performed at the Heart of England School. It performs highlights from the musical The Sound of Music. It was set in the 1930s Austria. The young woman Maria is failing miserably in her attempts to become a nun when Navy Captain George von Trapp writes to the convent asking for a governess that can handle his 7 mischievous children. Maria is given the job. When Maria arrives, she is initially met with hostility from the children, who had run off other governesses, but Maria's kindness, understanding, and sense of fun soon draws them to her and brings some much needed joy into their lives, including the captain's. Eventually, he and Maria find themselves falling in love, and this romance makes them both start questioning the decisions they've made in their lives. It's a brilliant film for young and old alike. The Sound of Music. I will, just before performing, go to apologize just first on this. Um, there's a cut off at the very beginning of this piece for about 5 seconds. You'll lose about the first 5 seconds of this piece. All of these video recordings that we bring to you in these concerts just for now, whilst we're in lockdown, have been done as a bit of fun by my partner Ray, who's not really a professional cameraman, but records a piece or two from some of our concerts on his phone or camera just for fun. It just so happens we've used some of these fun videos in these unusual times we find ourselves in. So thanks to Ray to making some of these videos. The Sound of Music. the sound of music. Well, orchestra members, are you ready for the endurance that you need to work up to play that piece again? We've been not playing for so long. We're going to have to really work our muscles up to get to it. But anyway, that was really a great evening. Our next piece, well, first off, this evening is the 1 year anniversary of the first UK lockdown, and we'd like to support the National Day of Reflection to reflect on our collective loss, support those who've been bereaved, and hope for a brighter future. Since the first lockdown began in 2020, hundreds of thousands of people have died across the world. Too many lives have been cut short, and millions have been bereaved. Behind the statistics, and for whatever the cause, every death has been devastating for the people left behind. On this anniversary, we'd like to show hope for a brighter future. There are still tough times ahead, and as the death toll continues to rise, this annual day will give us all time to pause and think about this unprecedented loss we're facing and support each other through grief in the years to come. Tonight, at the strike of 8 o'clock in the evening, we'll be showing our performance of Quiet City from our concert in October 2018. These pictures, taken by one of my colleagues, Malcolm Taylor from Coventry, show our city, Coventry, in various moments throughout the lockdown, so you can see our own quiet city. Join with me during this piece to come together to light up the night. Stand with a light, a candle, a torch, even your phone, to remember someone who's died and show your support to people going through a bereavement. Quiet City. Thanks very much for that. That was some really nice pictures, and I'd like to once again thank Malcolm Taylor from Coventry for those photos. He works with me in just another team, but in IT, and it's really nice to each morning we've got a little stand up, and he will share those photos one by one with us throughout the summer and autumn. It's been really fantastic for him to share those with us. So thank you again, Malcolm. It's really nice being able to read the comments, and we are here raising money for a charity. We do concerts about 5 or 6 times a year, and each of our concerts we raise money for a specific charity. This particular one is Chord, and we'll learn more about that charity in just a little while. We've got a couple of videos from the charity who can bring them along, but I'm just doing a little refresh of the screen right now. It looks like we have raised 195 pounds for that charity so far, which is really fantastic. We're 24% of our goal towards £800, which we'd like to raise for that charity tonight. It's a really interesting charity, not one that I'm really familiar with very well, so it'll be good to learn about them in just a little bit. I've also been enjoying watching the comments as we go along. Usually on a Tuesday night, we're huddled around a Facebook watch party and doing a Facebook watch party. This is kind of like that, where we've got a bit of really nice music going on, and we've got a little chat going on the side. Great piece of music and beautiful photography. Yes, Kit, I agree with you on that. Thank you, David. Yeah, it was, I did a little kind of timing just to get that quite right at 8 o'clock. So I'm glad that worked out. Mummy and daughter. Now I'm interested on who this person is, because sometimes I can make out who the people are and sometimes I can't. I think it's a member of the orchestra, but I'm not entirely sure who. So I'm curious to see about that. But there we are. Yeah, in fact, so thank you, Ben, for the link to the charity in the chat. If you look just right underneath of the Facebook kind of video itself, if you scroll down, you've got a little write-up of the Heart of England Cooperative Concert Orchestra. If you show more, right underneath of that, you can see the rest of the writing, and there's a couple of links under there. You've got a link to our orchestra webpage itself, so you can monitor this, make this one of your favorites perhaps, and monitor this so you can see when our next concerts are. You've got a YouTube link for this concert, but you're here already, so that's good. We've got a YouTube channel, and so it would really be interesting that each day this week I've got at least one more follower on that channel, which is really nice. So come and follow that channel if you like as well. And we've got the fundraising link just right there. And if it's the UK Virgin Money Giving link, and if you kind of open that up, it should kind of open up in a new tab hopefully, and then it'll bring you to that Virgin Money page, and you can donate what you can to this worthwhile link just right there. And just right, the final link that's there on the YouTube page is the program for tonight's concert. So do have a look, and you can follow along. There's lots of extra information in the program as well. So our next piece of music is Final Après un rêve. It's a duet. It means after a dream. Gerald Lawrence, who's one of our flute players, chose this piece for one of our Tuesday evening Facebook watch parties, played by a professional on flute and piano, because he loves both the solo and the piano part. Morag, one of our clarinetists, told Gerald she had played it on clarinet, so they suggested they might record it together for the next concert. So here we are. They discovered that their parts for the clarinet and piano were in the same key, and this made it all the easier. They didn't use a click track, which usually you got like a little metronome click track in your ear as you go along, and then that way you kind of try to get the timing just right. They didn't do that on this occasion, which made the recording. It makes the performance harder, that's for sure, and when they can't even see each other in order to make the recording, but they did a really great job. So here we are with Gerald and Morag, Final Après un Rêve. Oh, I did you? Oh, wait a second. Do you give? Is she trying to click on that Facebook link? Is she trying to click there? I don't know. Or there? I don't know. So is it saying that on YouTube? Because it's not. I know it's 4:13 there, but it's. And here we are back in the room. So here we are. We've got we've got a couple of people with some technical issues here, so sorry about that, but here we are back in the room. So it was nice, Morag and Gerald, so thank you very much for this. We've got people from Australia coming and performing. We've got people from America who's trying to log in, which is why I was a little bit late, so I'm really, really sorry about this. So it was lovely playing, so thank you for that. This evening, we're raising money for our chosen charity, Chord. They work to make peace a reality through the creation of peaceful relationships and trust throughout the world. This evening, we have 2 videos to show you more about their work and how they will be able to use the money we donate tonight to achieve their aims. let's go to understand chord better in this first video. Here we are.
Chord is an international charity working to make peace a reality through the power of peaceful relationships. This is made possible because of the prayers and money that you invest in our work. But what does our work look like in practice? In Cambodia, a government rubber plantation that provided jobs for the surrounding community was privatised. Half the workforce were made redundant and told to leave their homes without any compensation. Families whose whole lives had been dependent on the plantation were left with nothing. In response, even though protests were often met with violence, the community decided to challenge this injustice and fight for their land rights. The community spent 7 years struggling with no progress. Banners, petitions, demonstrations were all met with intimidation, and obstacles were placed in their way. In 2015, Chord began to work with the community, helping them with a more measured approach, building their confidence and skills to work with the local authorities, enabling them to collaborate, consult and communicate much more effectively. Following Chord's training, this change in approach meant that nearly 500 families were awarded land titles by the Prime Minister's office. As well as Cambodia, Chord works in Laos, Vietnam, Myanmar and Burundi. To find out more, please visit our website and follow us on Facebook.
Just want to say thank you very much to everybody who has donated this evening. We've got the link just underneath the video there. If you press show more, you can get the link to the Virgin Money giving page. I've just refreshed. It's looking like £255 we've raised so far for Chord. So thank you very much for everything that you've given tonight, and that might be able to give as we go along in this concert. Our next piece of music, and I'm going to apologize to Ben just in case I mispronounce this, the Colorless, Tsukuru, Tazaki, and His Years of Pilgrimage. This piece is based on some Japanese books about a man who's losing his friends and searching for his life to find out why they left him. The idea in Japanese culture is that each person has a color associated with their name. In this story, all his friends have a color, but he doesn't. This music piece will try to understand through his friends' feelings and color why he lost his friends. In this recording from October 2019, we get to meet both Ben Granier, who's joined us here tonight. So thanks, Ben, and thanks for coming along, who composed this piece of music, and Thierry Meroglio, who's the percussionist. More information on both the composer and the percussionist can be found in the program, which is a link just right at the bottom of the page if you want to have a look there. This performance is the world premiere of this piece, so let's see how this story develops through the music. Colorless, Tsukuru, Tazaki, and His Years of Pilgrimage by Ben Granier.
So Thierry will be our percussionist this evening up on the main stage. And Ben, can you tell us a little bit about this piece of music? It's in 4 movements. What's the story behind it?
Hello, everybody. The piece is based on the books from a Japanese writer called Haruki Murakami. It's a story of a man who is losing his friends when he's a teenager and trying to spend all his life to find why they left him. So it's a very dramatic story to look at his friends and why he's being put aside from that. So the idea in Japanese is the fact that every friend they have a color in their name, and then it's the only person with no color. That's why it's called Colorless as a piece. So he tried to go to meet all his friends and understand through colors and feelings why he has been put aside. So the piece is the story of the journey of that man to try to look for answers of why he lost his friends.
Excellent. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ben, for letting us perform that again. That was really nice. I think I'm not really going out on a limb too much to say that was probably our most challenging piece of music we've ever played. Most of the orchestra, when we handed out the music, said, "You've got to be joking. We're going to play this." And we worked really hard on it, and we pulled it off. So thanks, Ben, for composing that, and thank you for letting us perform it again this evening. Just to let you know, we are broadcasting here from the IT Tech Bar in the library of Coventry University. So we're just here in the tech bar performing with you. It's really nice to see all the comments on the screen as well. Welcome to my brother and his family, and my niece Lila, whose birthday is today. So happy birthday, Lila. It's really nice to be able to say that in real life. So that's really exciting. I can't see you, but I think you can see me. So there we are. Happy birthday to you. We're here raising money during this concert for a charity named Chord. We've heard a little bit from them before. We'll hear a little bit from them again. Thank you to everybody there who's donated so far. We're up to £292. Our goal is 800. We're 36% of the way there. Thank you very much for giving. It's a worthwhile cause. So it's really nice. Our next piece of music is entitled HMS Pinafore. It's a comic opera in 2 acts with music from Arthur Sullivan and libretto by W.S. Gilbert. It opened in the Opera Comique in London on the 25th of May, 1878, and ran for 571 performances, which was the second longest run of any musical theatre piece up to that time. HMS Pinafore was Gilbert and Sullivan's 4th operatic collaboration and their first international sensation. The story takes place aboard the royal ship HMS Pinafore. The captain's daughter, Josephine, is in love with a lower-class sailor, Ralph Rickstraw, although their father intends her to marry Sir Joseph Porter, the First Lord of the Admiralty. She abides by her father's wishes at first, but Sir Joseph's advocacy of equality of humankind encourages Ralph and Josephine to overturn conventional social order. They declare their love for each other and eventually plan to elope. The captain discovers this plan, but as in many of Gilbert and Sullivan's operas, a surprise disclosure changes things dramatically near the end of the story. Here is our recording from October 2018 performance with pictures put to the recording by Morag Clark from our orchestra. Here we are, HMS Pinafore. And here we are back in the room. So that was a bit of a fun piece. It's nice being here on a Tuesday. Tuesday is our usual orchestra rehearsal night. We usually rehearse in Central Hall of Coventry City Centre, and we're missing having rehearsals. And when we do, we usually have a Facebook watch party that many of the orchestra come to attend. But I think this might even beat a Facebook watch party, being able to look back at some of our concerts and at the same time raise a bit of money for a worthwhile charity. What's even better about doing it via YouTube is not only that we can join together, share in some memories ourselves as we go along, and remember the times that we did some really, really good performances in the past, but also to be able to share that with people from around the world. I've been, looking at the comments here again. We've got one of Ray's friends from Australia, my family from the US. We've got some people from Jersey. We've got people from Ireland as well. Yeah, that's right. So, and many of our orchestra members are here as well. So we're really quite, we're really enjoying our time. So thanks very much. I've got quite a few screens kind of set all up here. So I'm all looking at our next piece of music, which is the excerpt from the 1812 Overture. The 1812 Overture is one of the most amazing pieces to both perform and listen to in the audience. Many of you probably know the piece. It's the piece with the big loud cannons going off near the end of the piece, and most of the time, the piece is performed with real cannons. Well, we performed this piece in June 2019 concert when we were at Polesworth Abbey, which is not far from here, just kind of up the road in Warwickshire. We encountered a little problem, however. We wanted to perform a part of the 1812 Overture, the part with the cannons, but the military said they wouldn't loan the cannon or the soldiers to fire the cannon to us for our performance. So we were kind of stuck. We're like, well, what can we do? We really want to perform this piece. We really want the cannons. We're raising funds for good work for our charity, but they still would not buy into it. The military said, no, I'm sorry, we just can't afford that. So we did the next best thing. We got our audience to help out. Now, most audiences did, it was kind of funny, most audiences do not usually participate in actual performances, but our orchestra has never stuck to convention all the time. We gave out paper bags to the audience at the beginning of the concert. We had a little rehearsal in the concert just there before we started playing this piece, and then we all put it together just there in Polesworth Abbey. This is the performance from June 2019, the excerpt from the 1812 Overture. Here we go. Well, thank you to Polesworth Abbey for letting us do that. That was really nice. Kit is here. She's a member of Polesworth Abbey congregation herself, and she writes the Abbey wasn't happy about the canons in the church either. So no, I'm sure they really weren't. So we've overcome that challenge. It was really, really a fun concert as well. Kit, I don't know how old that abbey is, but I can't remember, but I know it's over 1,000 years old. It was fantastic being able to play and perform in that abbey. So thanks for having us there. It was really nice. We're here tonight. Like I said, usually each year we perform about 5 or 6 concerts. Each concert that we perform, we raise money for various charities. This particular charity that we're raising money for tonight is entitled Chord. I'm just going to the page to see what the running total is at the moment. We're up to £342.35. So thanks everybody for donating to that worthy cause. We have reached 42% of our target. I know even after this concert formally ends here, this recording is available on YouTube, and last time we did it, money kept coming in for the next kind of 2 or 3 weeks after, and it was really nice. So thank you to all those in real life here who are giving money and who will continue to give even after this concert is formally finished. Those of you who are perhaps watching on catch up, so thanks very much for that. The second Chord video that we have here this evening, we're raising money for Chord. They raise money to make peace a reality through the creation of peaceful relationships and building trust throughout the world. This second video of the evening from them was created by their fundraising manager, Nick Thorley.
Hi, my name's Nick Thorley. I'm the fundraising manager at Chord, and it's wonderful to be part of this very special concert. As you've already heard, Chord works to make peace a reality in places where people don't have the freedom to exercise their rights. We work in countries that have experienced civil war or social unrest, and we work bringing different parts of society together, developing peaceful relationships and building trust. We work for futures where people can live free from the threat of violence, from being wrongly arrested or mistreated. And so I'd encourage you to give generously, help us to provide more positive futures for individuals and build stronger, more prosperous communities. In Burundi, our Building Bridges project brings young people together from different groups. It empowers them to set up their own businesses. It breaks down barriers between the political, ethnic, and religious divides, the backgrounds that those young people come from. And at the same time, it provides them with financial security. It's a brilliant project, and it looks like this.
yaba mu nzu neza
ntaho yakikomisaya ariko karinda ariko atenya gusa nirishirahamwe nikiza turarishima ni
twaraje ico gikuba turagikora turakirangwa turavyara amatafari aho kazo turakubaka amadoje kubaka urabona mweko mwadufashije mukatwigishiriza abantu nze abanyamyuga bajya bubaka twaciye tubikora ko abari baza kubakira uyu mutama amaze kubakira umutama hama baramusukarira none ubu arashima ahageze.
Thanks very much for that. And I hope, thank you very much that you've given money to this worthwhile charity. Just doing a refresh. We're over halfway here. We're at 51% of funds. We've raised £412.35. Thanks very much for your donations this evening. Really, really do appreciate that very much. Thank you, Kit, for your comeback on How Old the Church. The church has been there since the year 700 AD. So, yeah, it's been around a good long time, and it was really good performing that last piece there. There's a little bit of a discussion going on the chat here. David Weir, who's from our flute section, says, wonder why there was a pair of music stands in front of the orchestra in Polesworth Abbey. That, of course, is a bit of a comment, because just right during that concert there was a flute piece that they played that David and Elizabeth, who also has commented in the chat there, has come up and played a little duet, which segues very nicely actually into our next piece that we're going to perform tonight. Our next piece is entitled Sicilian. It comes from our orchestra's flute section, who have remained very active throughout the lockdown. Even though we're in lockdown, they've remained very active, kind of rehearsing at home, bringing things together, and putting this trio together, continuing to meet regularly online for rehearsals of their very own. This piece, Sicilian, is believed to be composed by Maria Teresa van Paradis, who lost her sight at a very early age and lived about the time of Mozart. She is said to have inspired Mozart to write one of his piano concertos for her. The Sicilian was originally composed for violin and piano, but Gerald Lawrence, one of our other flute players in the orchestra, played this on his flute for his grade 4 examination, and later, when he joined a flute choir, decided that it would make a nice piece for the whole orchestra flute section to play, so he did this arrangement based on the solo flute part and piano accompaniment for 3 flutes. So it's really a bit of a treat tonight. So here we are, Sicilian and our very own flute section. It was really great to see our flute section there. They're ever such an active section, and it's really nice that they were able to put that piece together for us for tonight's concert. So thank you very much. It's really interesting being able to see all those flutes as well. It's not all just the standard flute, but all those other ones as well. It's fantastic to see them together. It's nice to continue watching the comments on the side of YouTube here. I understand that my sister and her family have been able to join as well, so it's really nice. We got people from all over the world watching us, and I think part of my team in Singapore will watch this on catch up tomorrow as well. So welcome to everybody in the UK and around the world. Thank you very much for coming tonight and for being a part of this concert for us. So really, really do appreciate that. Our next piece of music is entitled Forgotten Dreams. This was written by Leroy Anderson in 1954. This piece may remind you of summers in the English countryside and stick with you for a good long time. This performance of ours from June 2019 has photos from our orchestra put into it by Morag again. So thank you once again to Morag for helping me do all that. The photos are from one of our dress rehearsals and a few from some of our concerts not too long ago in one of our rehearsal venues in Central Hall in Coventry City Centre. So Forgotten Dreams. Oh, that's really nice to hear that music and to see the photos of the orchestra kind of pre pre-social distancing there. That was quite nice to see that. That last photo right at the end is really quite lovely to see. It's nice to see the comments on there. My sister says hello to everybody. Hello, Jenny from Maryland and the family there. So that's really nice to see you there. And we've got kind of the whole Wootton family here. So it's really nice. We've got people from all over the world joining us, as well as members of the orchestra here. So it's really nice to see that. Our next piece, Petite Symphony for Wind, composed by Charles Gounod. He was a French composer who wrote 12 operas and a large amount of church music, many songs, and popular short pieces, including his Ave Maria and Funeral March of a Marionette. He was born in Paris to an artistic and musical family. Gounod was a student at the Conservatoire de Paris and won France's most prestigious musical prize called the Prix de Rome. His studies took him to Italy, Austria, and then Prussia, where he met Felix Mendelssohn, whose advocacy of the music of Bach was an early influence on him. He was deeply religious, and after his return to Paris, he briefly considered becoming a priest. He composed prolifically, writing church music, songs, orchestra music, and operas. He died at his house in St. Cloud near Paris at the age of 75. The Petite Symphony, which we'll listen to tonight, was written in 1885 for 9 wind instruments. We'll be listening to the first movement, performed by members of our orchestra and a few of their friends just last month. It's good to see our members keeping in practice. Petite Symphony for Wind. Here we go. Thanks ever so much for bearing with me just there before that last piece. So thank you very much. Yeah, there was a little bit of frozen there, and I think it was more my fault than anybody else's. So there we go. Thanks for the comments on the screen. Thank you to you as well in the audience for being able to donate money for our chosen charity this evening, named Chord. We've achieved 54% of our target. We're up to £437 so far. Really appreciate your donations this evening to this worthwhile cause. Also like to thank Morag Clark for helping to assemble many of the audio recordings with various pictures and photos. And Ray Palonka, our roadie, so he's here tonight as well. Here he is, he's lurking in the background, helping me with the comments and keeping me on track here. So it's really nice. And thank you to Ray for many of the videos that we've seen this evening as well. Also like to thank the many musicians of the Heart of England Cooperative Concert Orchestra whose performances keep everyone's hopes high for a quick end of the lockdown and return to weekly rehearsals and live performances soon. Just looking at the comments, where was that? Yeah, I know, we were trying to think where that was as well, that last piece. It was in a school. And I can't remember the name of it. Kit says maybe Balsall comment. It could have been Queen's Road, a church in Coventry near that. We always perform in different places. Our venues are throughout all of Coventry and the Warwickshire area. And so some of the places we go back to again, some of the places, I mean, we're in quite big demand actually to help raise money for various funds. And it's nice going around. It's also nice that we've got a little bit of a problem in recent years. We can't fit the orchestra in every place as we need to because the orchestra has grown to such bigger numbers. So it's a good problem to have actually. But yeah, I can't remember what it was. It's nice to kind of get out and about, which I'm sure we will do again very soon. Also like to thank a big thanks to Chord for their assistance in putting together information about themselves as our chosen charity this evening. And finally, to Coventry University IT department for providing such a brilliant fast Wi-Fi connection, good enough to bring this concert to you. So thank you very much to them. Now, finally, just before we go, our summer concert, we would be remiss if we didn't kind of do a shameless plug for our summer concert. It's usually performed at the beginning of June, but this year, we're not quite sure of the best dates because the government has given us a little bit of a roadmap to the let-up of the lockdown. So we would like at least part of the concert to be recorded live and performed online, and genuinely believe this may be possible in line with government guidelines, the vaccine rollout, of course, and other variants, which we hope don't get in the way. As such, the dates are not yet finalized, but as soon as we have guidance from the government, which I think we're getting some more guidance next Monday, so we may be able to get at least a little bit closer to that date. We'll get a bit of a roadmap. We'll let the orchestra know, and we'll let you know as soon as we see the best way forward. We'll let you know via our usual social media channels, as well as watch our website for further information. So just underneath the YouTube video itself, you've got a little bit of a write-up about ourselves. If you click show more, you've got a couple of links just right under there. One of those links is our orchestra webpage itself. So please do go visit it, save it as a favorite, and you can keep track of our final concert, which will be this summer sometime, maybe near the end of July is kind of what we're thinking of initially. So I think once the lockdown actually does end, everybody will want to get out and go out about for a holiday. So we might have to fit those in as well. And then of course we'll need to work up our muscles and endurance for another concert. So watch this space, please. Thank you once again for donating money. We're up to £437, so 54% of our total. Thank you very much for coming tonight. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. Good evening.